Sign up for the Cigars and Sea Stories monthly giveaway. It's simple. All you need to do is go to cigarsandseastories.com, sign up for our newsletter by clicking subscribe. When you do, you're going to be given a referral link to share with your network. Every time you share, you earn points. Anytime one of your friends subscribes, you earn an extra 5 points. Whoever has the most shares and the most points at the end of the month wins the gift package. So subscribe right now at cigarsandseastories.com.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep.
On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Bennett and Mike are sitting down talking about HOCOA, Homeowners Clubs of America. That's what HOCOA stands for. And you can check them out at homerepairnetwork.com. Homerepairnetwork.com. HOCOA. So HOCOA is basically like this. Hey, Bennett.
Hey, Mike.
Dude, I want you to do something for me. Could you go on like Yellow Pages and Angie's List and Home Advisor and Legal Shield and all of these other different places and scope out all the best contractors in your area and then interview all of those contractors for me? Make sure that they're licensed, insured, bonded, print off all of their stuff and keep records. And then I want to be able to call you just whenever so that you can give me the best contractors to come and help me out around the house. Lawn care, roofing, like everything. Anything that I could do, all right? And, I like pay $100. That's the essence of HOCOA. That's basically what it boils down to. So you get one phone number, and you can call in to a local office, which is a guy or gal in the office. We have a call center set up, right?
Right.
And so 24/7, if there's emergency water removal or anything else like that, you can call, and then the call center is going to get the contractor there. But during daytime hours, you get a local office, somebody's chatting with you, whole honey-do list, a whole, hey, I need all of this stuff done.
Right.
And then, all right, cool. I'll put in like as minimum work orders as possible. Maybe I've got one person who could do that, whatever. It's awesome because it's local, but it's owned as a big license so that the marketing and the software and all of the other stuff that's associated with it is drummed up by like a headquarters team. So it's pretty cool. And we're talking about this because we just partnered with HOCOA, specifically in regard to 5-paragraph business plan, and we're helping them grow. So HOCOA's been around since 1993. It's owned by my good buddy Craig. The guy's freaking awesome. I'm going to see him again soon. He lives in Charlotte. He's a good dude. He's one of those guys. But Bennett, are you a homeowner?
I am.
You ever dealt with a negative contractor experience?
Yes, I have. Most of them, actually. And that's the God's honest truth. I'm not even like, dude, the worst thing ever. Like, you have. All right, so we had our basement turned into another apartment, right? So it fed all the criteria. We have like a walkout basement, yada yada yada, the whole thing, because Grandma lives there, right?
Right.
Well, we had to get like plumbing work done. We had to get all the stuff done, and I shit you not, I went through 3 plumbers. Like, I had a guy. He showed up, didn't finish the work, and then I could never get a hold of him again. So we had to have the second guy come in and finish the work, but then he did it kind of not the way I wanted it done, right?
Right.
And then we had to bring in a third guy to totally unfuck it.
So who did you call in order to get all of these people, though?
No, I didn't. I went through literally like online or asked other people, like, oh.
Jesus. How long did that take?
Yeah, forever. It took us forever.
Dude,
so
sounds
that
like a
guy.
nightmare.
Then we had another guy who was like the cabinet guy who was, it was just, dude, it was not smooth. It was a nightmare.
There you go.
And it took forever for them to get it done. Like, just come in and do the fucking work, man.
That's why
I just don't understand it. But no, I'm getting frustrated.
Oh, I know.
When I think back to it, the electrical, the only thing that went smoothly was electrical, because I have a guy. You know how you have a guy. So
yep.
You've got a guy. And once you have that guy, you hold on to him.
So you just said the essence
if you
of
have,
it.
Right. So if you have all those guys, all in one spot, because if they're an underperformer, they get booted. They're not
Right.
part of HOCOA anymore.
You can't, well, you're not going to get referred if you're a shitbag. Duh.
Right.
Right. So that makes sense, doesn't it? You know,
But
and
what? So let me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
Why not Angie's List?
oh, that's a good question. Okay, so allow me to just say totally different. Because let's say, for instance, with HOCOA, you're calling a local number and somebody's in their office going through this huge plethora of a network to get the right contractors. So why not Angie's List? Well, why not call the dude who has a guy for everything?
Well, yeah, like HOCOA though is locally operated.
It's locally owned, locally operated, local contractors.
But the HOCOA, like in your area, has an actual relationship with these contractors.
Yes.
It's not. That's why not Angie's List.
Because they're the ones who got
Angie's
a guy.
List is just like, thanks. Where are you? Well, I'm in like Seattle. You know what I mean? Like the call centers in fucking Minneapolis or something.
Right.
But I live in upstate New York. What the fuck do you know about contractors in my area?
Exactly.
I mean, I understand that there's like checks and balances, and I'm not bashing Angie's List.
No.
But when it comes down to it, I think HOCOA is a superior product. That's
Yeah. Well, and okay, so it's funny because Craig one time was HOCOA protects your doors while you're protecting our shores, right? That's his military thing. And I'm like, yeah, haha, that's cheesy. And then my mind immediately raced back in horror to this. Oh, dude, I don't think I've ever shared this one. I was on deployment on the second tour. And like right before deployment, my ex-wife now, God bless her, I pray for her every day. Bless her heart. All right. So right before deployment, she wanted to fly home. She wanted to go home, and the plan was she was going to stay there the whole time. So none of this was set up. She flies home. What do we do with her dog? It's a German Shepherd. Last time she flew home, she brought our chocolate lab home, which died in a furnace explosion, believe it or not. That's another fucked up story. So
Jesus.
So this German Shepherd, right, which I did not want to begin with. I didn't want another animal or something else to take care of when I came home at night. That's the last thing in the world that I wanted. She bought this dog. We had this dog. We put it in this lady's care while we were gone. Well, it turns out that our dog and their dogs didn't necessarily get along. So what she did is put our dog alone in our duplex that we had off base. We were renting it. They allowed us to put it on. It was basically a dormant status because it was easier doing that than trying to find another customer while I was gone on deployment.
Right.
So the dog is in there alone.
Jesus.
And she goes and sees it and feeds it. It shits and pisses everywhere. It tears everything up.
Of course it does.
It demolishes everything. Oh, yeah. So 5 months into the deployment, she flies home, right? Or rather back to 29 Palms or Yucca Valley, sees what's going on, sees the dog as she walks in, like, what the fuck? Did not expect to see the dog sitting in there with an entire trashed house, obviously. And her father.
Shit and piss everywhere.
Right. So her father and her are trying to put all of this shit together. And what am I doing? Like, what do you want me to do? Right.
Yeah,
At that.
I can't do anything. I am literally half a world away.
Right. So my whole brain went, yep, I could have called HOCOA and had people over there to cover literally the entire thing. So my wife at the time would be on the phone. This is my problem. That's it. Oh my God, there's all of this, the whole thing. And it's like, okay,
Just
hold on.
Smell, dude. I can hear it.
Dude.
I can feel it and smell it hitting me in the face right now.
Oh, yeah. So bad. And so in that instance, in something like that, you have to basically piecemeal all of those different things that are happening together. If you're on the phone with somebody and you're just walking around sharing this, you're like, and I've had it happen. I had a flood in Boston. I had a flood at my previous place out there, at the other fob Invictus, and you come down to a wet basement, not just wet, flooded, totally flooded basement, and you're like, okay, wait a minute, what? How many other things is this going to be? Sheetrock? I don't know what types of studs are down there. Maybe it's wood. God, I hope not. In a basement, it's supposed to be metal. At least I know that. And so you're going through all of these things in your head, and you're like, who do I call? Who's all of it? No. Like, call HOCOA. Emergency water removal comes out. They cover all of the other different things in a work order, that's associated with it. It's basically, it's like, Man, I mean, it's as good as roadside assistance, but you're getting a friendly voice on the other line. And even if it's in the middle of the night, I've called in to the HOCOA call center because I secret shopped them before before we partnered with them. I secret shopped them. Why not? And had other guys on the team just to see what they're up to do the assess, because we're doing the 5-paragraph thing with them, where you got to assess, train, advise, and assist, and so we're helping them along on this big expansion. I mean, I can just tell you, dude, they're in 6 active locations right now. They're firing up another 6, and they're actively seeking veterans who want to become HOCOA owners. And a licensed territory is basically like saying, I own, essentially this county, and it's based on homeowners, right? So you yourself, the majority of these HOCOA offices, they're small offices. They're not trying to, waste a whole bunch of space and all of this other stuff. That's part of the gig. They're all just salt to the earth. Like, dude, you're dealing with contractors every day. You don't go to work in a high rise, okay? You can go to work in jeans and a t-shirt and everybody's going to be cool. That's the whole point. You're dealing with just the backbone of our society is the way that I look at these folks. I honestly do. And so let's say, for instance, you're a sergeant, I would say you're a sergeant. Okay. And then you're a patrol leader. You've had some instructor time, maybe at some point in time. Or beyond that, you might be right for being a HOCOA unit owner, which is basically like operating a COC. That's all that it is, right? That's what HOCOA does. That's what's great about it. So you're calling into this COC. This is what I love. This is when my geek military brain takes hold, and I'm like, oh yeah, I call into the COC. They have a manifest with all, the A team essentially on this deck. And it's like, all right, I've got all this shit that I got to do. My wife, she wants me to change the light bulb. She wants me to repaint this. She wants me to, there's a loose shingle. There's a piece of siding that needs to be done. My whole honey-do list is done in a 15-minute phone call is basically what it boils down to, right? And yeah, I'm paying for other people to do the work, don't get me wrong, but that frees up a whole hell of a lot of time in your day also, to where you're out, you're making the money, you're doing the hustle, you're doing all of these other different things. And I love it because it's middle class business owners who, the majority of these contractors, they're all self-employed, working in middle class communities. I mean, it's freaking, yeah, man, it's good fit. It's good fit.
Absolutely.
For what we're doing. And dude, look at 5paragraph.com if you guys haven't already done so, because we've been, we put 5paragraph out there to the world, and we've got all these great reviews, but it's totally crazy ends of the spectrum. And we've been trying to find that good, solid industry fit with 5paragraph to where we were going to be able to work with another organization in order to really help it grow and flourish in a huge, huge way. And we found that with HOCOA. So that's why what we're doing is helping stand up all of the HOCOA units as they're expanding across. So what we're doing is helping with the training and training the HOCOA unit owners in 5paragraph as far as understanding the 5paragraph business plan. And then here's your presentation. So this is your slide deck of 14 slides straight out of the book. We drink our own Kool-Aid around here. And so we put it all the way through into presentation. And I mean, this is something where it's a service we provide to anybody. You can go to 5paragraph.com and click on services, see what we're talking about. We've been working very, very hard on this because this helps us work with fellow veterans, meaning with 5paragraph. And again, HOCOA is a civilian-led organization. They're patriots. They believe in what we did in the military. They have faith in the 5paragraph business plan and moving forward. And that's another reason why we wanted to partner with them, because we created 5paragraph for the masses. We did it specifically for the civilian market who doesn't have that military training. But veterans absolutely just ramp up because it is, here you go. Here's everything that you're already working on, but it correlates now with where you want to go. Bing! Oh, dude. So anyway, HOCOA units are COCs that you can call into if you yourself are interested in potentially becoming a HOCOA unit owner. And they're looking, frankly, mainly on the enlisted side. So if you're a non-commissioned officer or a staff non-commissioned officer, and you've got leadership billets and leadership instructor billets, you're probably prime for something along these lines. And what we're doing is working on putting together a 5-paragraph business plan so that if you want to be contractors inside of these HOCOA units, working with them, and you can have your own clientele, you can do your own thing. Don't get me wrong, but HOCOA is giving you referrals. That's how it works. So if you want to be a contractor, there's a membership fee and a commission associated with it. That is an advertisement referral thing, and that's something where get on the phone and discuss it with a HOCOA unit owner around you to how you can get it set up. But I can tell you right now, I mean, just in looking at their numbers, they're closing twice as many jobs and they're getting 3 times as many clients. That ramps your business up significantly. So if you're a veteran who's like, hey man, how do I run this? Dude, use 5-paragraph, biggity bows, just bracket that thing out, because the HOCOA units are using 5-paragraph. That's the idea. So not all of them are on it yet. Don't get me wrong. As we're working through the expansion, they're going to be working on 5-paragraph business plan. And we're working with those HOCOA unit owners in their COC, their ops center, putting together their business plan, their presentation, everything that goes into it, and then helping them as far as business development. Because that's the point with 5-paragraph. So I could talk about this shit all day, man.
Yeah, I know.
Well, because it's fun, dude. It's fun.
You've talked about it to me for the past goddamn forever.
I know, dude.
No, it's good though. I love it.
Isn't it good? This is fun.
It's just a good expansion and use of our skills is what it is, and to do good work and really help people out. I mean, at the end of the day, we're really one of the biggest areas where we're starting to lose. And you know what? It's one of the most, we need people in the trades.
Absolutely.
So,
skilled labor.
Skilled labor it's a hot commodity. I mean, because again, you might have a ton of plumbers in your area, but I know that at least 80% of them fucking suck.
Yes. Well, but that's the whole idea, right?
I know that from experience. It's the same with every one of these things. It's because you've got these companies where it's like a guy and like one other helper, and they over promise and under deliver every freaking time.
Yes.
So have a place that actually vets these people out so you don't get stuck with the shitty contractor. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but it sure as hell mitigates the possibility of you having a shitty experience.
Well, and then
with
you
a contractor and getting done. I mean, how many times have you paid for housework that just wasn't what it was supposed to be? I mean,
but then you also have somebody to call up. See, that's the whole thing. When you go to 5paragraph.com, right, you'll see right on there, lack of accountability in skilled labor small businesses is the problem that we are targeting, okay? And it is for exactly that. So that all that accountability really is you're putting it all down on paper so that you can maintain accountability from top down, right? But the whole point with these referrals is that when you go into a situation like that and you're a contractor and you go, uh-oh, I bit off more than I can chew on this job, you yourself call over to HOCOA and go, I'm going to need somebody to help me out with this, this, and this. And now I'm going to have to tell that homeowner that. So I'm telling you in advance that I'm about to walk up to a homeowner and be like, hey, I kind of stepped what I thought I could do on this one. I didn't realize once I got into the wall, it was going to look like this. We need another contractor. I've already called HOCOA. That guy's getting spun up. So it's like you're walking up to the homeowner going, I can't necessarily do everything that I said I could do, but I've already called over to HOCOA and I've got these other guys that are coming in to back me up. That's already in motion. So I'm telling you that right now, to where you've already got, guys with open work orders if you so choose to continue further with this job. That feels a hell of a lot better from the homeowner's perspective. Because I've been that guy. We were sitting there, God damn, dude. We had a leak in the ceiling that was coming out of the drain in our shower pan and had to get the freaking hole saw out and cut this giant chunk out of our ceiling, redo the fitting. And And I don't know for certain, but it might be coming back. And it's like, oh, dude, at least I swear I'm going to call HOCOA. I'm not even playing around because it's that. There's a piece of siding. I was listing shit that needed to be done on my honey-do list, okay? I just had the Ethernet done because I know a guy. This is something that I, as a homeowner, am going to rely on, and also my wife can rely on while I'm out of town. Let's say, for instance, it's really cool. And I dig the fact that if veterans are looking to get into it, you definitely have discounted rates and better options and all sorts of stuff like that. They'll work with you around it. That's for patriots also. So if you are, and I can't guarantee this 100%, but if you're a spouse, a family member, you're, doing great things, and you yourself are passionate about that military veteran community, I know that HOCOA will work with you, in any way, shape, or form on some of those discounts and numbers as well also. This isn't like a hardened, weird, nationalized structure. It's a local thing. It's really cool. It's fun. It's relaxed. And it's a good environment for 5 paragraph. So, damn, dude, I talk too much.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, man.
Oh, man.
Putting the word out there.
Well, I dig it. I'm telling you, I just dig the fact that if you really want to step out the back gate and you want to write a 5 paragraph business plan on where you want to go, and I get it. You don't understand all of the things that are in the 5 paragraph business plan. I totally get that. That's why the business plan and the tutorials, they go together. So you can listen through them at 5paragraph.com. You can get the book and then get on a phone call with one of us as an advisor, and we say that it's 15 minutes. They typically pour over into like 20, 25, 30 minutes, whatever it winds up being. But we'll start you off with your 5 paragraph business plan, get you squared away. And then at that point, we ask that you join the network. If this is something that you want to pursue, we're like, yeah, man, I want to be a business owner. Then you join the 5 paragraph business development network. And that's mastermind and support and mentorship opportunities. We got a guy kind of a deal. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and check that out. That's on the services page, but that's $99 a year. And it's business development services to where you're getting on the phone with advisors, and you're saying, hey, I need X, Y, and Z. And we push those business development services to you. And that's the whole point. We start shooting intro emails and all sorts of other things. And that's anybody. It's veteran, civilian, patriot, anybody who wants to be a member of the 5 paragraph network and do business development. The whole key ingredient to this, the network as a whole, is we're working on 5 paragraph business plan so that we can communicate with one another in this methodology, because it makes it very, very simple in working as adjacent units. So when you get together and you start, hey man, I'm in the execution paragraph, I'm working over the ski maneuver, I've got my Gantt chart out, I'm going through my horse blanket, trying to figure out exactly where everything fits. How did you set up your op table? This person knows what you're saying, right? You know what I mean? So that's the other side of this, which is great. And we have been working with all civilians. We help veterans, right? But we have purposely been pushing to help civilians because they're seeing how cool it is. And they're like, oh man, this is how you actually operate every day. And it's like, yes, this is much more action oriented in order to get things done. And it plots everything out. So anyway, that is the on-call support network as you see it on there. And it's every possible thing that you could think of in regard to business development. So go ahead, get in touch with an advisor, join the network. Like I said, it's $99 a year. You can see it on 5paragraph.com under services. And then you can see all of our services. We'll help you entirely create your business plan. More often than not, you're either going to get Bennett or I working with you on the phone, on Skype. We do everything over some sort of shared document. Typically, it's Google Docs. So that way we're working on it together. And the whole point being is we can start going through it with you on an advisor call, get you a template, or rather a workbook. And then from there, what we'll do is we'll flesh out your entire business plan with you. But the whole point is, though, is we're not consultants. no offense to consultants out there, it's just it's not our gig. We're not consulting you on the business apparatus of things. We're advisors on how to put together the management method, the operations. You're operating off of this business plan methodology. So it's not like, hey, do I have the right documents? Yes, we can help you out with that. How do we construct, let's say, for instance, pro forma and business models? We can help you out with that. The accounting side of things, we got a guy, or a gal who can help you out with that. Legal services, that's the other reason why you would call in. And again, it's just tapping into the 5-paragraph network. So there's probably a legal office that is working on 5-paragraph business plan that we can plug you into so that you're speaking the same culture, the same language, part of the same culture. That's the idea. So, but what I dig about it is it's putting together that military feel and lingo with all of this civilian knowledge. It's cool. It zips the two worlds together, which is pretty neat. So, but yeah, check out all of our services. I mean, with HOCOA, we're actually going into all of the different various locations and putting hands on as far as training is concerned. So they're at the tier 1 end of the scale, so to speak, but we work with everybody from startup all the way up to people who are expanding around the globe. So wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, but you guys should totally check out 5paragraph.com if you haven't already done so. And if you're a homeowner, if you're a renter, talk with your folks who run property management. Maybe you have an individual landlord. There are landlords who are using HOCOA. I know that for a fact. Because in the middle of the night, what are you going to do? Call your landlord? That's honestly what I did at when the basement flooded on my last place I was renting. And I called my landlord. And I called and I called and I called and they answered. It was the middle of the night and they were like, "Well, what's going on? Basement's flooded." Okay. But we couldn't do anything at that moment because it was the middle of the night on a Sunday. So we basically had to wait until the morning because rates were cheaper. I can't guarantee anything, but that's one of those scenarios where it's like HOCOA will put somebody on scene and you've been a customer with us. I mean, you're part of our network and stuff like that. We can figure out the rates, that's something to where it's like, this is an emergency. So how about we just worry about that stuff later and take care of the emergency stuff right now? Yeah, they're really cool in that regard. Anyway, talk with HOCOA. Check them out, homerepairnetwork.com. It is Homeowners Clubs of America, and it is locally owned in pockets across the country. Right now, they're in Charlotte, Charleston, Raleigh, Atlanta, Oklahoma City, San Diego. They're standing up Denver, and we're talking with folks.
Isn't there one in Florida, too? Or was there?
Not yet.
There's one in Panama City, or they're talking about one down in that area or something.
Yeah, I think that they had one that stood up in that area. But again, remember, it's licensees.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's say, for instance, you want to buy into the license. Just contact us, get in touch with us. Go to cigarsandseastories.com, click contact. PM us on Facebook or something. We can have a phone conversation. But the HOCOA unit owners in the area they're their own business owners. I mean, it's their thing. They're running their own gig. So if they want to sell their business, and people have health issues, shit happens, man. So they've bubbled up and, they went from a licensing to a franchise model for a little while, but that's just, they didn't like the overlord audit. That was kind of what they were experiencing. And so they went more so with the licensing, which is, I think it's cool. It's one of those things to where I didn't even realize that was an opportunity when I first approached entrepreneurship. I was like, oh, yeah, everybody's, starts from scratch. And with HOCOA, the whole idea is you're helped out with marketing, you're helped out with business planning, you're helped out with the networking overall, the support group. And by support, that's a mastermind within your overall, other HOCOA unit owners, as well as the contractors in the various markets. And the same thing goes for the contractors. I get geeked out about it because I see the value in it in these different areas because I myself have dealt with this and am still dealing with it. But I also see the value of it because fellow veterans who are into that type of skilled, labor, they can get hooked up because the majority of them are like, dude, I do not want to make a freaking website. I just want to work. That's what I want to do. I want to work. How do I get more work? And it's like, great, we can help you with all of it because it's all based on reviews. So if you have a really basic website and then you put up solid reviews, your about page is solid and stuff like that, like your certifications and stuff are in there, great. But really what people are looking at are your reviews because they're going to get a work order and that guy's going to go to fill the work order. And it's like, okay, in order to see who we're really dealing with, there has to be some sort of web presence. Otherwise, what's the point? And the other thing too is HOCOA is not necessarily giving you all of your leads. Work the networking piece and grow it outward. Get some of your own leads. And some of these other different folks, it's all about word of mouth and just doing great work. I mean, that's what it boils down to. If you're a person who tucks your shirt in, shows up on time, acts the part, takes responsibility, cool, perfect, great, accountability, fantastic. So anyway, it's one of those things, like they're looking for veterans who want to be HOCOA unit owners and run a COC to where you're networking with contractors and you're working in and around your local community. You're speaking with fellow homeowners that are in the area, trying to understand their needs so that your deck fits the needs of the people. And by your deck, I mean let's say you've got 100 contractors that's on your networking list. You want to make sure that you've got, okay, I had 2 plumbers, maybe I want 5 plumbers due to the needs that are out there. So I might be networking for a couple more plumbers, and looking around. Well, you have your network of HOCOA plumbers already to go to, like, hey buddy, right, I'm looking around for somebody else. So it's one of those. It's a really neat, you're buying into essentially like a uniform structure, but you got to want it. I mean, you have to want to be a unit owner. And then as far as a contractor is concerned with HOCOA, you want to work. That's your thing. You're not necessarily working on the business all the time. You're working in the business. And that's why we offer a 5-paragraph business plan to contractors to be able to grow their businesses, because you're using it to work. You're not using it to work on the business. You're using it to work in the business. That's the true difference with 5-paragraph business plan. Other business plans talk only about working on your business. 5-paragraph business plan is devised specifically to work in your business, to operate. That's the whole point. That's why it's a good fit with the contracting world. Pretty cool, huh?
Pretty cool.
Dude, it's like, me, you've seen me. I can put on the whole suit and tie thing and walk in and do all of these presentations. Bennett, when you see me on a routine basis, PT gear, right? Maybe, I think is the best jeans way to describe it. Yeah, I mean, I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of a dude, like, all of the time, but that's the cool thing about doing business within this realm. You don't necessarily need to be, fintech and all of this other stuff that's out there. You always picture the guy who's rocking the jacket with the button. I mean, I've done that stuff before, don't get me wrong, but I'm much more of a casual, like, dude, it's just good being around roughnecks again. Because I think that it's, for me, coming out of the combat arms side, the closest jobs civilian wise are in the trades. The closest sense of humor and the people that we really get along with, me personally, even though I'm a nerd for business, I know I can tear apart a motor and put it back together. I'm much more of a car guy, I guess. I'm more of a welding guy. I think, right. Somewhere in there.
Which again is a trade.
Oh yeah, for sure. Welders make bank, dude.
Yeah, they do.
Pretty crazy. Hell. Well, and that's the other thing, too, is when you're coming out of the Marine Corps and you're looking for stability and you're looking for a hop, skip, and a jump, to be able to do some of these things. You know, you and I were talking about this the other day. There are a couple of different pathways that you can get lined up into, like a 2-year trade school. You know, you're going to a 2-year trade school to understand the skills, but you're putting together a 5-paragraph business plan to set up the business. And then it's like, all right, cool, I'm ready to kick this thing off. Great, join the HOCOA network. And then boom, you're off to the races. You know, it's one of those things. You're immediately showing up like, all right, I'm locked solid. I got all my training, I got all this stuff. I've done my on the job, blah, blah, blah. Start shooting me referrals. So, I mean, me personally, that feels like a hell of a lot easier of a transition than jumping into a 4-year university studying, you know, business, which was my transition. And that, no. I was like, this sucks, man. You already heard me rant about dealing with Metropolitan Boston. Metropolitan Boston is entirely different from Camp Pendleton. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have driven there in 4 days and then immediately hopped into a school desk. That was very Billy Madison-esque. That was stupid. Anyway, yeah. So, HOCOA is a better fit for me. How's that sound?
I would agree.
And I bet that I hope that HOCOA contractors start listening to Cigars and Sea Stories on the job site. That's a thing. I hope that's a thing. You're gonna be driving through the neighborhood, and then you're gonna hear like, and then this fucking guy, right? And you're like, hey, that was me cursing. Good job. All right, it's fantastic.
Yeah, man.
I curse more on Cigars and Sea Stories than I do in real life.
Yeah, so do I.
Hands down. You meet me on the street, I'm not gonna curse with you.
Depends on where I'm at. Yeah.
Right. You know, it's time and a place for everything, and right here is a time and a place. That's why we're marked explicit, people. Hello.
Yeah, dropping the F-bomb.
Just saying. There are some phases in life where you need maybe a stronger word, you know, but that's story for another time. Goodness grief. Do you have any factoids? You should look up a factoid on bobcats. You should do that.
Bobcats?
Bobcats.
Like
a bobcat. No, like a bobcat with a front loader on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like a bobcat.
And while you're looking that up, just a quick little... Okay, so when I was growing up, I worked at my uncle's spot in Midland, Michigan. It's called Judd's Rental. And Judd was his father. Great guy, by the way. Got a testicle blown off in World War II. Came back and had like 8 kids. Guy was a freaking hero. But Judd handed down this rental business, Judd's Rental. And it's over there off Saginaw Road, right? Right behind where Bushy's used to be, if you're familiar with Midland.
Right.
And I loved working there.
Said no one ever.
Dude, Bushy's is a whole nother hole in the wall bar that we loved going to. It was fantastic. Anyway, but Judd's Rental, they rent tables and chairs. So if you're doing any of your, you know, like graduation or wedding or anything else like that, they do tables and chairs there. They also do heavy equipment such as bobcats, ditch witches, power trowels. They do backhoes and stuff like that, all out there on the trailer. Make sure you show up with a 2-inch ball, and it's got to be mounted to your frame. Can't be on the bumper. Duh. Anyway, so... Yeah, and what I loved about working there as a kid, right, is it was hard work. Don't get me wrong. Loading tables and chairs and all of that other stuff all day long, cleaning bow flows and power trowels and stuff sucked. But being able to get into a bobcat and roll around in the thing and try doing like wheelies and slamming it down on all of these figure 8 cars, because he raced figure 8. We actually dropped a 383 crate motor into a 77 Monte Carlo one time, and it ran in a day. It was awesome. And then he beat the fuck out of it in a figure 8 race. It was awesome. But we would put a little hatchback, and then we would get into bobcats, and one of the guys, he would put a fork on one of them, and I would have a bucket on one, and then we would smash this car in between. Oh, man, it was so good. We built a go-kart that did like 80 miles. Well, they built it. They built it before I was there, and then they put me on it, and it did like fucking 80 miles an hour. And we also put duct tape over the little sensor on those scissor lifts that go up in the air, and we raced them across the parking lot with the boom all the way up. Dude, good times, man. Good times.
So freaking Bobcat isn't even an American company anymore.
I'm just sorry. I was crying inside and it came out a little.
It was an American company, but now it's not. As of in 2007, it's a Korean company now.
Holy HMG. Holy Kadzooks.
Yeah, man. So it's owned by the Doosan Group, but it was started back in the 1950s by a guy named, I think it's Cyril Keller, so I say Lewis and Cyril Keller, operating Keller Welding and Repair in Minnesota. And they needed small machines enough to maneuver inside a pole barn.
Yeah.
And light enough to operate on its upper level. So the brothers developed a small three-wheel design with a belt-driven transmission. And yeah, man, that shit was born.
Wow. That's amazing.
American ingenuity, right?
When did they make it, though?
Problem.
They made it in the 50s?
That was in 1956. Eddie Vello, a turkey farmer in the area, described to the Kellers what he needed, and they developed it. And so they delivered to him in February 4th, 1957.
My goodness. Wow. I did not realize that machine had been around that long.
It was a belt-driven transmission, too.
Wow. That's pretty freaking cool, man.
Isn't that crazy? And then obviously it's gone through a million different things. And a million different integrations. And man. Skid steer loader.
And if you've never been in one, they're fun.
Big one. Yeah, the first big like mass market one that they made was a four-wheeled M400 model skid steer loader. And that was in 1960. And then they began using Bobcat as the trademark. Wow. Pretty cool, right?
Pretty cool.
It's a history, but now they sold it to a fucking Korean company.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Whatever. It's not the end of the world. I'm just saying. Leave it to Ingersoll Rand to sell it off to a Korean company.
That's
well done. No.
It's a brilliant machine.
We'll be driving Bobcats into battle soon anyway.
Oh, I've often come up with tactical decision game scenarios with me driving a Bobcat. Oh, yeah, dude. Because think about it. You put the bucket up, but then tilt it down. That thing's... I mean, you're taking small arms fire, you know, and then you're underneath of it inside, just kind of working those things, right? Trying to figure out how to shoot this goddamn gun. Basically, because it works with the two steering sticks that's in there, it would be extraordinarily difficult.
Well, it's like the preliminary version
Yeah.
of the like robot suits that we, you know, like what was that one movie? Avatar.
Matrix. Oh.
Or Avatar.
Yeah.
Like where they're like rolling with or the Matrix too.
Yeah.
Those freaking robot suit things, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, but
Alien, that's another one where they did that.
Can you imagine? Cool. Can you imagine a quad 50 on a Bobcat?
Yeah,
you're just rolling around on a Bobcat like what?
Well,
what?
Like
use that on people?
It's like that one scene in The Matrix where the that dude is in that suit, just unloading, just unloading, and they show the aerial view of it coming in. Yeah, bro, that's what you're doing on a Bobcat with a quad 50.
For sure. Oh, for sure.
Just stupid.
What are you doing? Stupid. I'm going duck hunting.
I'm going freaking hunting.
Oh, man.
Hunting for what?
Dude, can you imagine? Okay, so can you imagine having like a screen that's up top? You've got a turret that's above, quad 50, okay, and whatever else is out there where the boom is, I would put some sort of like apparatus to help me climb over shit. Or
I would put like two arms.
Yeah.
Like you'd have like you have grapples, right?
Yeah.
That's what you need. And you need two of them, so they're each independently controlled. So they're literally like hands. Extensions of your hands.
And I mean, you could do it. You could, so like to where that's out there, but basically you switch in between your pedals are rotating the turret, or they're doing the boom thing.
Right.
You know? So you like lock yourself into the side of a cliff or something with a quad 50. It's like, how did that guy get that thing there? And it's like, oh yeah. They dropped a bunch of us out of a C-17.
You don't even have to go like quad 50. You could go with like quad 240s and you'd be tearing shit up.
Oh,
like fucking
I'm putting a full arsenal on there. Okay, let's not fuck around. I'm putting a toe. I'm putting a 240 above the toe. I'm putting a 50 cal with a Mark 19 above the 50. How about that?
Jesus Christ! Listen.
Okay, I'm done fucking around. I'm done.
Fucking dumb.
I'm taking anything out. I'm taking out your tank. I'm taking out your whole goddamn. This is happening. Send a regiment, motherfucker. I'm in my up armor fucking bobcat rolling around.
Up armored bobcat.
Oh yeah, and then
Sounds like a good next project for you.
Yeah.
To do with and you and HOCOA can develop.
There you go.
Develop it together.
Penny, why'd you put the 240 above the toe? I needed a coax. Why
I
not?
need a coax.
You know, like what? Are you insane? Like, yeah, I am a little bit. I really am.
Little
Yeah.
bit.
And yeah, what are you gonna do? I'm just gonna tow a fucking Humvee trailer behind me full of goddamn ammo, and I'm gonna put 2 ammo midgets on there wearing fucking bomb suits. And they're gonna be like, and they're gonna run up, and they're gonna just like in the Matrix. Boom, reload, done. Ammo midgets up. This is why you listen to the end of the episodes, people. This is why
Because
you
it
listen.
completely devolves.
Because it
hedonistic bullshit
goes off the rail.
That's what it is.
Call HOCOA.
You sure they want to partner with us anymore?
Probably not. Probably not. We'll see.
Not. Oh well.
We'll see. But all of these other folks did. Spartan Media, Heroes Media Group, McPherson Marketing. Yeah, a bunch of cool folks that hook us up. And they do things in our network. And there's a whole nother list. Because, you know, we got a guy for that. So if you've got business development needs or anything else like that.
Cigars and Sea Stories. We got a guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
It's the new. It's since we're just going to change it from Smoking and Joking since 1775 to Cigars and Sea Stories. We've got a guy. That's the new tagline.
Oh, man. Oh, you're making me cough. Yes.
5 paragraph. We've got a guy.
Got a guy for that. Yeah.
Got a guy for that.
For sure. You got a guy for that? For sure. I'll tell you what's really cool about this also is that their market is big out here near Lejeune and Cherry Point and Norfolk and all of that other good and marine centric, right? All the way down, yeah. But also they, you know, Bragg is served by it, Benning is served by it, Savannah. You know, a lot of these different places are coming into scope, so it's like they're purposely. The whole idea is serving military communities. It's awesome. Yeah. Well, and I know that Texas, Colorado, Southern California. I mean, you know, anywhere that you could potentially put a military base, you know, they're probably going to be in and around. You know, that's kind of part of the gist over here and stuff. So, because that's one of the things too, is it's serving these pockets of different communities. But I love being here on this side of the 40 and Camp Pendleton's on the other side of the 40. And I want to go visit everybody in between. Yeah, it's going to be good times. I'm going to bring Matilda. That's going to happen. Should I ride Matilda literally from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Pacific Ocean? Because I should. I know that I should. Man, that's what I should do. That'll be fun. I'm going to start planning. I'll do an op order.
Jesus.
Yep. Bennett, I love your body, bro.
Yeah, man.
Good episode.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, folks, thanks so much for listening to Cigars and Sea Stories. Call HOCOA for all of your homeowner needs. And if you're wondering why we, did all of this stuff, it's because it's a good fit and it works for us and our community and hopefully for you. Thanks so much. All right, Bennett, take care, be well. And on that note, we cue the music.
Our flag up front to every breeze, from dawn to setting sun.